Are protesters there losing hope?
Protesters here remain defiant, Delano. The message from them, as you hear whenever you go to the protest site in Arabic, is sabinna. That means we're staying. We're staying in the streets until we get civilian rule. And for the most hardcore among them, that theoretically means staying in the streets for the next 3 years. That's when transition is supposed to end and democratic elections will be held. But that challenge of holding on to that sit-in space is becoming increasingly difficult for the protesters. The strategy by security forces now appears to be to break down the barricades that surround that sit-in. That started last night and is continuing today. So security forces trying to squeeze the area that they control. And it is during the removal of barricades that we've seen clashes yesterday and earlier this week that left a number of people dead and many more injured.
Now, Nadia, talks have been suspended for 3 days, but where does that leave the progress that's already been made?
Stalemate for the moment. We have now until Saturday evening for protesters to dismantle those barricades so that talks can resume. Now, what's been agreed for the moment is what's to happen in 3 years' time, which is in theory a transition towards a democratic rule, with Sudan having an executive body, a legislature, that is to say a parliament made up of the majority of the opposition party, the Alliance for Freedom and Change. But what we still don't know, the main sticking point here, is who will sit on the country's ruling body for the next 3 years until we get to those elections. That's the sticking point. That's what was supposed to be announced yesterday, but has been postponed until Saturday. The question is, will it be a majority of civilian figures, of opposition figures who represent the people in the streets, or will it be a majority of men from the military, from the old guard, who sit on that council? That's one of the most controversial issues that we're still waiting to hear from. We're also waiting to find out whether Sharia law, Islamic law, will be incorporated into the country's constitution in the future. So many questions are still unanswered, but I don't suspect we'll get much conclusion, at least until Saturday night.
OK, we'll see what happens. Nadia, thank you very much for that.